You can do what you want to do as long as you got dreams to go for. They say they can't stop me. They can't stop me. I'ma go hard. They can't stop me. Once I remind y'all, intimidators trying to bring me down. I love it when you turn my frown upside down. They can't stop me. I'ma go hard. They can't stop me. Once I remind y'all, I'm on TV.
Okay, we live. What's happening, Sister Lisa? How are you today?
Thank you for having me.
And thank you for coming. You know, it's always my pleasure to have you. You know, you one of my favorite people. You know.
Thank you very much.
So you know that theme song is basically about being able to not allow other people to stop you from going after what you want to go after. You know, it's a lot of times we have visions, we have dreams, we have aspirations, and sometimes the people who are closest to us kind of snatch it away, because sometimes you need somebody who believe in what you want to do, especially when they're close to you. I'm getting to the point where it's like I'm striving to, if a person doesn't believe in what I'm trying to do, then I try to distance myself from it, because part of what we deal with as a community is a lack of faith, a lack of belief that our conditions can change. So with that being said, I want to go into statistics of males. Well, those who identify themselves as Black. You know what I mean? We all many of us call ourselves Black, many of us call ourselves African American. I like to call us Moors, Moroccan Moors, only because there are legal aspects behind it that give us power that we are not yet even clear on. But there's 47.9 million of us. And when we say this statistic was taken in 2022, and they also included Latinos and Hispanics in that number. So they say with the statistics. Now they said that from there we are considered 14.4% of the population. Now, if we're 14.4 of the population, that means for us to be properly represented in anything, it should equal that. No matter whether it's business owners, far as Fortune 500 companies, or whether it's teachers in school, whether it's politicians, whatever it is, we should be equal to that 14.4 to be properly represented. So anything lower than that, we're being misrepresented. So I'm gonna, later, I want to do the statistics on different areas just to see, because many times we speak about not being properly represented in a lot of spaces, especially when it comes to business. Someone, I was watching IG, Instagram, and there was a brother. The brother said he doesn't like to celebrate Martin Luther King's birthday because he said that when he was alive, when he was alive, they fought him tooth and nail. Second of all, he said they want, America wants to celebrate it because the integration hurt us more economically than anything. Once we integrated, we lost businesses. So because we were able to go and patronize other businesses, we lost all our own business. Where prior to that, we were everybody had to be in the same area because you couldn't go in certain places and you couldn't go to certain stores, and it ended up hurting us more so than helping us. I understand the reasoning behind it to some extent because it was like, you know, the Europeans could come to our neighborhoods, but we couldn't come to theirs. They could come to our stores, but we couldn't go to theirs. So I understand theoretically why, Martin Luther King would want to pursue that for the equality. However, sometimes when our best intentions, sometimes it does cause a chain reaction, which ultimately caused us to, lose a lot of businesses. I mean, you grew up around about the time that I grew up. You saw a lot of business people that would, that was being owned by people that look like you and I. You saw that. We were fortunate enough to actually see that, to actually see people own businesses. Then it got to a point where we started kind of saying like, from the point of slavery, we never had businesses, but that's a misconception. You know what I mean? Because we actually were doing quite well till I would say the mid '80s. You know what I mean? To the mid '80s, like '70s, we had businesses anywhere you go. You could see people that look like you and I with businesses. Sure, we were struggling, but I mean, who hasn't struggled? Everybody who's in this country struggled at one point or another. You know, so I just wanted to, touch on that and then go into statistics where the reason I was speaking about that is because I wanted to speak on something because anytime we talk about our community, a lot of times it's in a negative connotation. So I wanted to say statistically, anybody that was born in 2001, there was a 1 in 5 chance of them being incarcerated. Now, it decreased from people being born in 1981, where it was a 1 to 3 chance that they would be, incarcerated. So actually, in the 2000s, it actually got a little better as far as statistically, our community going to prison. It got a little better. So I wanted to put that out there because it's good. I think we want to start putting more positive things when it comes to our community, more so than negative. Now, incarceration is always negative, but the fact if we get less people starting to be incarcerated, then that's positive for our community. All right, so that was just me, you know, spitting out a few things, but want to get to you now and, want to ask you a few questions about yourself. All right. One is, were you ever married?
I was married twice.
Okay, you was married twice. Okay. Now, would you ever get married again?
No.
Okay. Why not? Why wouldn't you get married?
Well, I'm approaching 65, and at this point in my life, I don't need to be put in like a situation that um I need to be with someone in my life continually. Um, I like being by myself. Uh, I wouldn't mind having company or companion, but the whole thing of, how could I say the word, the thing of matrimony, the way it's set up. I wouldn't want to get married because things have changed a lot. The life we live in now, and it's really not about love anymore, or even about getting together and building up each other potential. It's more of um, I meet you, you meet me, and we might hit it off. And um, I don't think we talk anymore about what you like, what you want in life, what I want in life. What do I have to bring to the table? What you got to bring to the table? About your family, my family. I think we jump into relationships now, and then we find out in a couple of weeks or months that it's not going the way you want, or it's not the person you want to be with. And time is very precious. You know what I mean? And I just feel that people don't know how to be romantic anymore. Like back in the day, a guy met you. It was about having a good time. It was about dating you. It was about taking you out. It wasn't really about buying or giving, but it was about going out to a movie, out to we went to bars back in the day. We went out to eat. We talked. We laughed. We got to know each other a little bit, and we got to sit back and think about this person in our life. Like, well, do I really think I could really be with him? Be with her. But now it's like I meet a guy now, and he'll be like, "I like your body, your body type. Okay, what kind of body is that? Um, I would like to get with you. Well, get with what? What do you want to get with? You know what I mean? Or I text you, you didn't text me back. Oh, okay. Um, or when I seen you, you could have came and approached me. It's like demanding questions now more than if I see you. I'm kind of feeling you. We connecting. Uh, at my age, and it should be any age, it shouldn't be about your body. It shouldn't be about if like back in the day, because you said we the same age. We didn't have call waiting or texting or all that. So if we weren't home and you called me, and then whoever answered said I wasn't home, you had to wait.
Right.
You know what I mean? So if I didn't call you to maybe the next day, you wasn't upset because we lived our life and did things that we had to do. But now, oh, well, you didn't text me, or I text you 5 times or whatever, or I've been calling you, or I came to your house, you wasn't home. Uh, we are so built up that it's here and now, and right here you got to be here, and it's no more space to like be who you want to be in that person, because we want to be in a space all the time. So no one gets a chance to like be together, but back up a little bit. Get to have your own life, and they have theirs, and then when you're together, because it's always like right on top. Well, where were you? Or well, don't look at my phone. Well, let me turn my phone off before I go in their house. So let me put it on beeper, or let me put it. I mean, not beeper. Put it on silence. We don't have to be like that no more. We shouldn't be doing anything that a person, if a person go in my kitchen and they leave their phone on my couch and it ring, I don't have to look at that phone. I don't have to look, try to think who's calling them. That's not my business. So I really don't want to get into a relationship as far as going down the aisle and saying I do, to find out later I don't.
Hmm. Okay. So you say, so basically, if I'm understanding what you said now relationships are more intrusive. People intruding on your personal time, your personal space, intruding on even, you know, what you like to do. Want to tell you instead of, asking you, they want to tell you what to do. So, and that's
Yeah.
what you kind of shine away from that because, well, and rightfully so, because no one wants to be told what to do. After your parents, that's it.
Yeah.
Nobody else wants to be. You don't want anyone else telling you. Sure, if I do something and it makes, if you got some advice for me that's going to improve who I am as an individual, I welcome that. But from what you're saying is basically that individuals are more concerned about what they're going to get, what they want from the relationship. Never mind what you feel, what you want is just okay. I want you. Look, I like your body, so
Hmm.
I want to see when we can get together and make something happen sexually. You know what I mean? I'm
Yeah.
telling you, I like your body, and that's why I like your body. So I'm attracted to you physically, and I don't even care what's going on with you as far as your characteristics. I don't even care about
Or
what
my
you.
brain.
Yeah. Okay. So, and that brings me to something where I want to ask a question. Now, do you think nowadays with the younger generation, you know, getting work done, and mind you, you can do whatever you want with your body, that's fine. Do you think the getting the body structure kind of distract the men to a certain extent because now they're starting to just look at bodies. Now everybody want to look at everybody is about bodies now. It's not about it. Somehow we've gotten off of what is it, what kind of qualities you have. You know what I mean? Do you like to cook? Do you like to sew? Do you like going for long walks? Things of that nature is just gotten to a point where it's just seemed to be everything is based on visual. What I see is what I want. The microwave age, like you say, people can't wait. Nobody want to be patient. Nobody want to take time to be friends first. It's automatically, if I'm interested, we got to make something happen sexually. Is that what it's like out there now? That's a question.
Well, I have brothers.
Okay.
I have brothers. I don't have no sisters. So we could be in the car together, and even with my son, and we'll see somebody, and he'll be like, "Oh, Dad, look at that! That
Right.
butt," or
Okay.
or look how he's walking. Or look what they got on, or
All right.
all that. And then, but then yet, when they with their woman or whoever they in a relationship with, they don't even give them women compliments.
Mm.
So you out here looking at women on the street constantly. Oh, look at that. Oh, wow. Oh, that's blowing me away. But then you could be right next to your woman at home that's you got a life with, and you won't even say, babe, I like the way you look today, or you got your hair done, you looking good, or I like that outfit you got on. You know what I mean? Like you'll give a woman in the street a compliment before you give one at home. I think that girls got to start women got to start saying to themselves that we don't have to dress down to get somebody, because if it's a real man, he already know what's underneath your clothes. You know what I mean? So you don't have to wear your stuff all hanging out and see through and short, and half your body is showing. Now, if it's for you, then it's one thing. But if
Right.
you're doing it for outside, you're devaluing not yourself, because I'm not going to be opinionated, but I'm just saying that a man already know what a woman has underneath her clothes. So you can dress in a nice attire that he can imagine. See, men are visual. he can imagine what you might look like with the clothes off, or he can imagine being with you and you know, being able to have a relation with you by the stature that you have and the way you carry yourself. But for you know, like they always talk about guys, oh, his pants hanging all down and you can see his underwear and whatever, whatever. Now with us, we look at a guy, but we don't be like, "Oh, Dad, did you see the crack of his butt? Oh, did you see his butt cheeks? Oh, you know, oh, it's so low that you know we can see half of his the way it's made." No, we don't. As women, we don't say stuff like that. But a guy is visual, so whenever he walk out and he see a woman, uh, you know, see through pants or shirt that you can see her breasts and you know, everything is popped out. And like I said, if you're a party mode, okay. But if this is a regular routine, then you can't expect a guy to come up to you and really be serious about you, because a guy, as I said, is visual. So when he get with you, it's only about what he sees that he wants. He never gonna want to get into you far as head wise or your characteristics, because he's seeing you first as open. You know
A
what I'm
sex
saying? Like
option.
back in the day when, like back in the day, like you said, we the same age. We wasn't allowed to show anything. So when the guy came up and rapped to you and be like, "Oh, yo, babe, I want to, you know, take you out, get with you, whatever, whatever, whatever." Not until that first time that we ever got intimate that you ever seen what a woman had that you like. Before then, you just had how they act, how they talk. You know what I mean? How they carried themselves, how they dress, and it was enough for you because you knew whenever you got to that point, you would see what she had. But now you already know what a girl got. You know what I mean? Like we see it on TV. You know what an ass look like. You know what breasts look like. Nobody has to be walking out there showing it, because the TV shows it in our in Facebook, and your phone show you constantly every day, every hour. You're gonna see it.
So basically, what you're saying is taking away the anticipation, uh, or the element of being surprised of
A
what you're gonna
surprise.
see. You know what I mean? Because now you're seeing it, you already got a good
Yeah.
idea of what it's about. And but
Mm-hmm.
now now, do you think, like, women get offended sometimes? Like, I've heard brothers say, I women don't even, you can't even speak to a woman, like you used to. Hey, how you doing? You look nice today, like you said, the compliment, or she get offended, but yet, she's dressing provocative, or she just dressing the way she feel comfortable. Now, as a man, we don't know. We don't know whether you just doing it because you're comfortable. Most men gonna think that you're doing it because you're looking for attention. That's how man
Well,
mind.
we as women, we are sexual beings. So when we're out and we're dressed, um we we got a little sex appeal to ourselves, because that's the type, that's what we are. We women, we have sex appeal. So we might you know, dress a little provocative a little bit, but it don't mean that we're, you know, advertising or trying to sell our product. We just, that's, a woman is made up of being a sexual being, and that's why we're called women, because we have added parts to our body that men don't have, that we walk around with every day.
Okay, so that's just a woman being comfortable in her element, basically. Now,
Yes.
you said something that I wanted to ask you a question. You say women don't be saying, "Oh, this guy got a nice butt," this, that, and the other. Now, do women look at guys' penis print? Do women look at that?
um Most time you don't see it. But if a guy do have it and have certain pants on and you see it, of course we're gonna look, because the anatomy of a body, a man's body, it turns women on too. but we don't get to see it like you do. We don't get it until that time come when we're being, intimate, and
Right.
then we be like, oh, okay, 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 this is what we working with or whatever. So basically, we taking you as what we see you out. You know what I mean? Dressed in your attire. We don't get to see what we might get. Like, it's all covered up.
Right.
So even if we see a guy print, we don't know if that's it on soft or on hard.
Okay.
Because just because we see it don't mean that's what it really look like when we see it.
Okay. All right. Okay. All right. Now, what is the most valuable lesson that you learned from your marriages? Each one of what two, what are the valuable lessons that you learned?
Okay, so I was married twice. I was married when I was 23. Now, from that marriage, what I learned was that you can't be with another human being and think that that human being wants the same thing out of life that you want. Because when you get with them, they're on totally a different page. And no matter how much you want that person to change, a person is not going to change for you. They're going to be who they are. Now, they might do some things that you like, but basically, the way you met them, that's how they are. So, my first marriage was basically, he was older than me, but he was immature.
Okay.
And I didn't realize that he was immature until later because I already had a kid by the time I got married. So, I realized that he didn't know how to be responsible because he didn't have any family. It was just him. So
Mm,
when he got with me, he didn't feel that he wanted to jump in and be responsible, but he wanted to be married because he wanted somebody to carry him through life. And
mm.
that's what I'm talking about. You have to be careful who you meet because you never know in the back of their minds what they want, even though you think you just want somebody to love you and you want to have a family and you think you're going to grow together. So that was for my first marriage. My second marriage was I was older. I was 46. He was 5 years younger than me. Now when I got with him, I'm thinking that okay, we a little bit settled, we got jobs, we got a little bit in life, we accumulated, and we could just work on just enjoying ourselves being, our middle ages. He didn't have no fun before when he had no fun when he was younger.
Mm.
So when he got with me, he wanted to live his life like he
Want to
was
play
young.
catch up? Oh, okay.
He wanted to play catch up when you can't be 20 and you 40.
Right? Yeah. Yeah.
So our whole marriage was that he wanted to do all the things that he missed out on for whatever reason, but I didn't want to do that because I had lived my life. You know what I mean? Like the things
Right.
I wanted to do, I did when I was growing up and when I was old enough. So by the time I'm 40, I didn't want to party. I didn't look for people to be in my life to make me feel important. I didn't want a whole bunch of friends or uh I just wanted to enjoy my life. My kids was big and I wanted to do the things I wanted to do in life that you can't do when you have a family. And basically, he wanted to do all the things that he missed out on through life. And it was cool, but it wasn't cool for me.
Okay. So basically, it's like what would you suggest to a person newly who is thinking about getting married? What type of advice would you give them? Somebody who's in the process dating and they're thinking about getting married. What would you tell them based on your experience from your two marriages? What type of advice would you give them?
If a person is getting ready to get married, talk about our ancestry, our background. Get to know where he come from. Get to know how they feel as a family. You know what I mean? Like what type of family that you're going to be getting into. Then find out how do he feel about finances? How serious is he about working? You know what I mean? What do he really want in life? You know what I mean? Or then another thing, like find out. I mean, you don't really have to get into his business, but if you know what type of women that he had before you, think about it seriously. Are you that type of woman, or is he still gonna want part of that woman, the women that he had, for you to be like that too, or he gonna accept the type of woman you are? Because a lot of men get with you and they be like, "Oh, she boring." You know what I mean? Like I thought she was gonna be like a freak, but she not. She boring,
Okay.
or she don't want to do nothing. So you gotta do your homework. Uh, if you like to buy or you like to spend, do he like to spend? Because you get with some guys don't want to buy nothing or spend money.
Right.
These are important things. Is he religious? Do he like to go to church? Do he like God? Do he like children? Do he? And the main thing is, I don't know about a girl as far as that, but do this man love his mother? Because my mother always said, if a man love his mother, you got a good man. But if a man have a problem with his mother and he can't really love and get into his mother, how he gonna love you? Because you the same thing as his mother. You're a woman.
Mm. That's pretty deep there, and I think that's really some good advice for especially younger people coming up. Getting into relationships. You know, just I was
Yeah.
looking at I was looking at somebody was leaving a message. Yeah, I think that's important to really get to know what you're getting into because based on what you were saying when you got married, you know, you had no idea of what the person's motive for getting married was. Like people have different reasons to get married. Just like people have different reasons and different needs and different wants from a regular relationship. I think far too often when two people meet, they don't discuss that type of thing. They don't discuss, okay, look, what what do you want or what are your expectations of me? You know what I mean? What do you expect from me and where do you see this relationship going? I remember back in the day, that used to happen quite often. I used to hate to hear it, but now looking back, it wasn't a bad question, because at the end of the day, yeah, you get to have a better understanding of who a person is. As you said, meeting their family. All right, if you meet a person and their family, you know, say shun you, if the family just don't have no love for you, do you want to continue, being with the individual? That the family don't have no interest, they don't want to talk to you, they're real rude to you, and I know people say, "Oh, I'm not dating the family," but especially if you're younger and you have a baby, if you don't have that support from the family, like then you miss out. You miss out because if the family's not unified and they're not welcoming, they're cold and callous towards you. You may want to keep it moving. You know, and I do think family is important. Or if you go and meet and everybody in the family is a criminal, do you want to expose yourself to that type of lifestyle? I mean, so I think that's very important, and that's very good advice that for other people, for younger people especially. Now,
And also, people have to remember that when you say "I do," you don't know about it, but it's a bond that comes between you because you say "I do" in the presence of God, and He makes a union of that, and that union is hard to break. So a lot of people think they get in it and they be like, oh, well, I don't want to be there no more. Or I'm leaving, or it's not working out for me. But you know what? You never get over that because you promised that person that you was gonna be with them through thick and thin, for better for worse. So even when you leave and go be with somebody else, it's never gonna work for you because you made that bond with that one person, and then now you're moving on. Promise that you made to somebody else. Like me, when I got married my second time, I didn't have any qualms because my husband had died by then.
Right.
So when I got married, I was clear of whatever we had together. Like even now, if I get married again, which I'm not going to be doing, but my husband is passed away, the second one. So I don't have anything. That's another thing. Like when you get with somebody, you'll be like, well, he was like this, and he did this, and we did this, and you don't do none of that, and you don't give me none of this. See, you can't equal up one person with another person, but that's what people do, and that's why you have to be careful when you say I do because that person that takes you is never going to commit to you like the one you was married to, even though it might not turn out like the way you want, but you tried because you stood together and said I do. You just didn't understand what you said I do too.
Well, I can say from from my own personal experience, of being married 23 going on 24 years, is that the marriage in the beginning, you know, I didn't take it too serious. You know what I mean? I did it to do it, because it was the right thing to do. But ultimately, I learned that in marriage, you have to make some concessions. You have to compromise certain things that you may not really want to do, but it's going to be good for the relationship, you know? So that's what I learned. And I think that's something that a lot of people, and whether you're married or not, need to be able to understand that you got two people coming together with two different views on life. And it's a blessing if you guys have a lot of similarities. It's a blessing if that's the case. However, if it's not, then you're bringing two different lives to merge and work together as a unit. And you made a good point when you said, how's a person with finances? I mean, because there's a saying, I can do bad by myself. That's one of the sayings that I agree with. You don't want to bring a person in your life that's not going to enhance your life. And I think that's what people are missing. You know, as men and women, we supposed to, I mean, it's designed, let me not say supposed to, it's designed for us to be helpmates, to help each other. And somehow we've gotten to the point where, you know, and I don't know whether it's because a lot of women have been making more money than men. I don't know exactly what kind of messed that dynamic up. But at the end of the day, there's a divide between the men and the women, you know. And I got two daughters, a granddaughter, and and my son, and they all struggling when it come in the relationship part. They struggling. So, and I would say from 26 to 43, you know, so it's like I base it on them and their relationship status that, man, it's something different now. And what you were saying, like what people are looking for is not the same as back in the day. And I don't want to keep saying back in the day. I want to be able to say what it's designed to be. I'd rather, because men and women both have a position. And I think somehow the positions have switched to some extent. And for me, I don't have a problem with, okay, if a woman makes more money and a man stays at home and keep the house, that's a contribution. You know what I mean? But if a woman's making the money and the man's home sitting and smoking weed and playing the game all day, and then when the woman comes home, he's screaming and hollering to me what he gonna eat, then that's an imbalance. That's an imbalance. So I think that it has to be something where we're both people are willing to give of themselves to make the relationship grow and evolve. And because people grow and change, that means their needs and wants change. So sometimes we may get used to a person, you know, maybe staying home. They may not want to go anywhere, and we've gotten used to that. Now all of a sudden, the person decides they may want to go out a little more, or vice versa. Either way, we have to be able to. It's beneficial to the relationship to be able to adjust to whatever your partner wants to do, and be willing as a partner to you know allow them, like you said, like you don't want anyone to stagnate you, to try to dominate you. And I think if a person feels like they're being dominated, you know the relationship becomes unhealthy, and it becomes more of a battle for power or control rather than two people coming together trying to make a good life for each other, you know?
Well, I think like when we were growing up, our parents didn't really show love. I mean, some people had parents that showed love between each other, but most parents didn't. But you knew that they were your parents and they cared about enough about each other because how they kept the household. And so when we grew. I'm saying when we grew up, we decided to get married, but our parents didn't really teach us how it was to be in a relationship because we just seen them working hard and building and trying to survive, but we never seen the intimate aspect. You know what I mean? Like we
Protection
seen them.
aside.
We had
Right.
brothers and sisters, and we seen where we lived at, but we didn't get to see like the part of like I was telling my brother. I said I don't never remember them talking. I never remember them hugging, or I never remember them like really laughing together. It was always a business conversation, like oh well, we gotta do this or this gotta happen or whatever. So when I got married, I wanted to change it and like how was your day, what went on with your day, what we gonna do to maybe when the weekend come, or is we gonna have a little extra money and maybe we could take the kids somewhere, or you know uh you know so we tried to show more compassion in our age group, but it turned into other things like back like you said around about the late 70s 80s, a lot of drugs start hitting. So a lot of us got caught up with the drinking, the drugging, and um, basically when I was like younger, like in my 20s, people didn't live together. If a girl lived with somebody, it was like, whoa, I can't believe, like she
Mhm.
living with somebody.
Right.
And girls didn't really have kids then. So if somebody had like a kid on the outside, that was like, wow, she got like a kid, before she got married, which it always happened, but it wasn't a bigger picture like it is now. So I think it was a lot of things that we did differently than our parents. But then when we started getting together, we started living together, having kids outside, marriage, maybe one or two kids. And but we still was getting married, but we just was doing a lot of things in marriage that we didn't quite get it. You know what I mean? Like you said, back in the day, a lot of women were working and men were not bringing to the table like they were supposed to, or helping out with the children, or you know, being a part, of what they should have been as a man. Now, the age group that the kids are like our kids, our grandkids and kids, it's an all out what you call it? It's an all out eat fest. Like uh well, I got one at home, but I got one laying on the side that I go and visit when I ready to whatever. Or I go out when I get ready with my homeboys, and I don't care if she home. I deserve to be out with my homeboys, or the kids are a big part of it, and you be like, well, I can't handle the kids; they're out of control. So you try to medicate that by drugging in front of them, smoking weed, drinking, partying, having your friends. So I think we lost a little message between generations, that now the kids nowadays don't know what to do, because everything's like a party. You know what I mean? They dress like they're they dress outside like they're at a party. They when they at work they partying. You know what I mean? They're not really working. They come to work when they get ready. They do what they want to do. They be high. They constantly still on their phone. They don't give really a day's work. When they home, they're not really taking care of the home life, because they ain't got time, because they're too busy running. I just think they lost the main ingredient, that what it really truly mean to be in a relationship. And it don't mean that how many times your man can fuck you, or suck you, or eat you, or or you could just lay there and be high. We gotta, they really gotta get it together, that all those things are like nice stuff to do if you want, but it's gotta be, you can either grow it, or you can fail up what you need. And it don't mean things. It means getting together and building up what you need to be, for both of y'all to feel that you're going towards where you want. Or you could just be together and don't let nothing happen, and then both of you just sit back, and then you want to blame each other that nothing is happening, but you ain't trying to make it happen.
Yeah, so I think you're right that in a relationship, it's like a team. You're both playing for the same team. So, and you both want to win. And for any team or any game, you have to practice. So you have to work on it. You have to do things that's going to enhance the team to guarantee that you win in the game of life. And I think what's happening is that the distractions outweigh the the practice of being a team, of working together to make life better for the children and all involved. I think, it's like you said, the sexual part has become like 80% of the relationship, it appears. And 20% is handling everything else. And that's a imbalance. Now, it's something else you said, that you got the guys where they got this woman, that woman. Now, I've been thinking about that. Now, I think if if the women, if guys start to be honest, look, I'm seeing her, I'm seeing you, you know, because most times, if somebody knows, somebody knows about somebody else. The only thing is the other person don't know. So now, if you get both people aware, now I think if the women stop being angry with each other over what the guy's doing, the guy's lying and saying, "Look, I ain't messing with her no more. I'm only with you." if we can get rid of that part, I think it'll be a better function or the community thing, because let me explain what I mean. Like when you have an individual that has two baby mothers, now one baby mother he lives with, the other baby mother he doesn't. So now the baby mother he lives with questions him anytime he reach out to the other baby mother. So now because of that, he's sneaking around to talk to the baby mother, and instead of the one that he lives with being cool with the other baby mother, whether they're having sex or not, being cool with her, saying, "Look, won't you bring the children over so that so that he can see it, so that we can spend some time." I think that's what's missing. I think sometimes women are staking their claim, and they're making the man feel like, okay, I got to sneak around, you know, to see my child. Or some men just stop seeing the child altogether, and the children suffer behind that. And if the woman would say, look, at the end of the day, you got to take care of that child. She called, look, uh, Shaheen, let Shaheen know that Tyre needs some Pampers. You know what I'm saying? That type of thing. Because we grew up in a village, and that's a part of our culture, operating as a village. But now, since I don't know when neighborhood left and hood came in, but the neighbor part is gone, where you get to know everybody and what's going on around you, and everybody's like in their own little secret world, and the children are suffering behind that. Like you said, that you know the parents running around, it's party time, and I I think like at least with my mom, when my mom was like in her, I want to say late 20s, she partied a little bit. But by the time my mom hit like her mid 30s to 40s, she was barely going out. I used to hope she would go out again so I could, so I could have some fun. But I think that's become the the situation where it's partying, and it's too many people not wanting to be honest with who they are and what they want, and it's too many people just being straight just selfish. Like at the end of the day, children are innocent, and as adults we need to be able to say, look, I don't care how that child was born, that child deserves to be taken care of. And women don't realize that you guys have so much power, but you give your power away to the men a lot of time, because you don't stand, some of you don't stand for like what you really believe. Like, you cater to guys because it's slick talk. Sometimes jokers slick talk you, and at the end of the day, look, no, you need to handle your responsibilities, because I think too many men are getting away with not having to be responsible. And face it, men do what they do for women. Whatever a man do, it's for women. Most times, men are straightened up for a woman. Men get dressed, and it's vice versa. Women do for men. So I don't see how it got so confusing when we both do what we do for each other, And now we're but instead of us doing what's going to be beneficial to us as a whole, we're just doing the bare minimum, or we're doing, you know, whatever we want to do for the sake of, like, because now it became so easy, like, for women to walk away now. Women walk away like that now. Before, women would hang in there with guys. Now I'm gone. I don't have to put up with this. And I get that part. However, I see that in relationships, nobody comes in a relationship perfect. And nobody's gonna be perfect. But you can work on perfecting the relationship between the two individuals or whatever. If it's three, whatever you decide, you can work on that by being able to be honest, be truthful. I think that was if I could go back in my life and change anything, that's what I would change of, you know, being truthful of who I am, what I want to do, and how I want to do it. I think that's one of the major issues that people are coming in, for lack of a better phrase, perpetrating a fraud and getting people all into it. And then you realize that this person has been fronting on you the whole time. What they say now, capping. You know, I think that's one of the big issues that we have now, and I really do think that women need to build their sisterhood up a little more. I think women allow what we do as men to separate them rather than to bring them closer because if a man is cheating, it's easy to cheat long as the two women mad at each other. They don't want to speak to each other. But if they end up talking, how he gonna cheat? He can't really cheat then. You know what I'm saying? Because she'd be like, "Yo, he's over here now." You know what I mean? Or vice versa. But now I'm not gonna let women off the hook because women create complications too. When women cheat, they involve when especially younger when you're younger and babies get involved and now you have a man you got two men and you don't know which one the father now you mess around and create something else, you know, and I think that happens in our community far too often where one man just happened to be there and now he goes a certain amount of years being the baby's father and then come to find out he's not the baby's father. And now, you know, what did he do with that? You know, you done built the bond now. You done built the bond with the child, so you don't want to turn your back on the child. So it goes back to us being truthful. You know what I mean? Love,
Well, I
peace,
think
and
too.
truth.
I think too that I think that I had to talk about black men because I don't know about really any other man.
Right,
I think that black men, when they become of age, they don't realize what it means to become like a young man or a man. Like, soon as you get old enough, you want to get with a girl, and the first thing what you want to do, you want to get in her underwear,
right,
and then when you do get in there, uh, you know you press on, or you still hang out, or you be with her, or you go get another girl or whatever. But see, when a female becomes certain age and start becoming of age, we deal with more than what men do. We deal with becoming of age, and then our bodies start maturing, and then we get like our menstrual cycle. Uh, we our bodies start developing, and then if we get pregnant, it's not saying the guy gonna be with us during the pregnancy, or we gonna be by ourselves. So most of the time we by ourselves, and we go through the 9 months carrying the baby and trying to figure out what we're gonna do. Is he gonna be there for us or what? Then we have the baby, and then the guy might come and say, "Oh, okay, this is my seed or whatever." And then he started off. He wanna. I'm a man now. He wanna be with the baby, and he wanna spend some time with it. And then the baby started getting a little bigger and more wants, like more Pampers, more milk, more clothes. And then they'd be like, "Well, this is hitting my pocket. Well, I can't have no fun. You know what I mean? This is whatever." But that's being responsible.
right,
But see, the woman can't never. I always say the woman can't never say, well, it's too much for me. You know what I mean? I don't want this. You know what I mean? I don't want to take care of this baby. I don't want to stay in the house. I don't want to have to work. But we have another choice. We can't turn around and say we don't want to do that. But men do have that choice, which they shouldn't. Because, like you said, it takes two people to lay down and make a kid. So why you want to give up on your kid because okay, now you and the girl not hitting it off right or things ain't turning out right. They ain't got nothing to do with the baby. Like you said, a guy will leave and then let another man take care of their baby, or they'll tell one guy that's your baby and then it's not your baby. Why? Why are you playing games with a kid? And then that's why we got these kids now, they got problems or can't move forward because they've been lied to or treated bad because the mother didn't, like you said, the mother didn't want to be real with them. Okay, now like me, I was pregnant at 16, had the baby at 17. I never asked him to do anything, and he never offered.
Right.
But I never asked because I felt like if we were together and we made this kid, why are you coming forth and helping me?
It was
So the
automatic.
less he helped, the more I just moved on. I didn't ask. I stopped. You know what I mean? I didn't ask. I just went and got a job and I took care of her. So then when she got bigger, he was like, well, all she do is want money from me. And I'm like, well, what else did you what do you think she want? Because if it was no love there or no time spent or you know, building up of a foundation, what else does a person want? Uh Men gotta stop letting other men bring their children up. Because look, like me and you, if we have a
Right.
kid and you move forward and I move forward and then I get with a guy, I should never let that guy come in my life and say, "Oh, he can't come over here, or he can't be a part of it because we together." Or he, you know what I mean? He will like, "Well, you know, the guy there, I ain't got to do it." No, that's your kid. No matter who she married or who you married, that's your kid, and you should still have a relationship with that person, not sexual, but a responsibility that you had a kid together. But people always letting things go, and then they think that it's supposed to be picked up later. You can't pick up something later that needs to have been handled before. You know what I mean? And then another thing, like yeah, I hate to keep going back in the past, but you know, because you talk about it. We forget that when we were slaves, the black woman had babies by everybody. The master, some guy that she met, or one, you know, really couldn't get married back then not till later. So we had kids and we took care of them. And it was a village because we had kids. And the man, he took of you and then he got with you and you had kids and he took care of your kid no matter where it came from. You don't think all those mulatto children was taken care of by a white man? No. A black man took care of that kid just like he took care of one that came from him. We done lost the essence of knowing that it's not about where the kids come from or who we been with or who we messing with. We have to come to agreement that whatever who you with and whatever goes on, you got to find a way of coming out and saying, "This is this person. This is how he is. If I want him in my life, I'm gonna take some of that." But if you don't leave out because women will stay with men and men will stay with women who know they cheat or know they did something wrong and sit there and want to make them suffer. You know, oh, I know you're going out to be with somebody because you did it to me before, or you did me wrong, but you know, or where you going, or I'm gonna track your phone, or I'm gonna do this. You ain't got to do all that. You don't have to do all that. If a guy did you wrong, the door is there. Leave. Stop sitting around taking stuff that you don't have to take. We only got one life. It's short. Let me tell you. My first husband cheated on me. Somebody came and told me he was cheating on me. I didn't even ask him. I sat there and saved my little money and got the heck up out of there with my two children and I left. Because I felt like I was a good woman. And if you felt like you needed to go out there and be with somebody, And welcome to the party. You go do what you gotta do. But I'm not gonna be feeling bad about what you're doing. I'm not gonna be me, you, and her. Now, if I want to be, I could do that, but I chose not to. You understand? But a lot of women just want to make people suffer, or women want to make people suffer because somebody did something wrong. I tell people all the time, when somebody cheat, it got nothing to do with you. That's got to do with that person that's cheating. They could be cheating for a whole nother reason. You sitting thinking, oh, well, I didn't do this, or I could have did more of this. You could have did nothing because the person have their own will to do what they want to do. Just like my husband went out there and cheated and know he wasn't taking care of home. So you ain't taking care of home, but you feel like you need a second person. But then I tell you what, I'll walk out and then you could be with whoever you want to be with because I'm not gonna be number two or number three. I ain't gonna calculate it. If you want to be with somebody, you come and tell me, yo, Lisa, I think I want to be with somebody else. Let me make the decision. Don't make the decision for me because feelings, you can never get feelings back when somebody break your heart. You know what I mean? Because then you start questioning yourself. Oh, well, she looked better than me. Oh, she got more than me. Or, I could see she do more. No, you're not going to make me question myself about you want to be with another woman. You picked her for whatever reason. I'm moving on. You know what I mean? I'm better than that.
Well, I think that's what's happening more times than not now, that women are just moving on. And I mean, I get it to some extent, but sometimes you're okay. In your case, you say he wasn't taking care of home, but in some cases, guys doing everything. He's taking care of home. He's doing everything, and he happens to cheat, and the woman, she's gone. Children involved in everything. Now she go meet another guy who he's not cheating, but he's not doing anything else, and she stays in that. You know what I'm saying? So it's like sometimes it's like, okay, is cheating the worst thing a person can do, or are there other things that's close second or even worse than cheating? Because at the end of the day, as you were saying, it's about the children, especially when you got children. If you're single or your children grown, it doesn't matter. But when you have children, I think, as you said, the men need to be able to communicate, and the women need to be able to communicate on both parties. You know what I mean? Whenever kids involved, with children involved, there's there's no reason why children should have to suffer behind actions of grown people. And
But
that
people also gotta realize that people are throwing themselves on people that's in relationships. And you really have to be strong enough, or you got to be well enough into yourself to know that sometimes people come into your life just to tear up whatever you got in life, but you the one have to be decided what you want to do. I'll tell you, for example, when I was married to the first one, I had this guy to come by. He would like shampoo the house or whatever, like the rugs and the furniture,
right,
you know. So the house. And I was like, the guy coming doing whatever you need to do. Anyway, it was true. The guy was trying to get with me. But see,
right,
I couldn't see it because I was the type of person, I just wanted my family. I was trying to do right by my family. I wasn't thinking about somebody was looking in and wanted not to really get in, but to just get something what was in their house.
right.
You know what I'm saying? So when I found out that's what it was, well, we won't go into what happened. But when I did find out that's what it was, sometimes you do have to be really careful and take note that some people are in your life for the reason, for more than a reason.
Okay. All right. Now, what is one thing that you struggle to change, that if and when you change it, it'll add greater meaning to your life?
I'm very gullible. I'm a type of person that I'll go a way extra mile for people. Like I'm a person that I'm there for you, and I'm in my whole life, work, family, anything. Like if I'm in your life, I'm in your life. I'm trying to do better. I'm not gonna make myself be the only one doing better. I'm gonna try to make it better for everybody. But I have learned and moving forward that I'm not gonna give my whole self to anybody anymore. Come anytime in my life. I mean, I'm still gonna be a good person, but I will not give myself to anybody because I feel that for me not to get hurt, if somebody do me wrong, then I'll just do for Lisa. And I mean, I'm gonna pick my brother or sister up. If anybody ever need me help, I'll pick them up. But you always gotta keep in the back of your mind. Some people on your team is not really on your team.
Yeah, yeah, actually, yeah. Some people are playing for the other team. They're not playing for you to win. They're playing for somebody else to win. And I think that's something that quite a few people struggle with that are givers. And by chance, when you're a giver, a lot of times you end up with a taker, you know? And now you're a giver. Here you give it. And this person is straight taker. That's it. That's all they do. All they're gonna keep draining you, you know? So when you have that type of individual, now that's something like you said, what you want to do, you just want to be able to set your boundaries, you know, set your boundaries because at the end of the day, you don't want to not be able to be who you are to a certain extent, but you want to be able to say, okay, I'm going to give this and that's it. You know what I mean? And I'm going to see how this person, you know, responds to that. Because sometimes as a giver, you get so engulfed because it actually makes you feel good. You know what I'm saying? It actually makes you feel good when you're a giver. So you feel good doing it until you realize that you're giving to an empty hole that's never going to be filled. And that's when you start feeling bad because now you say, I'm giving, I'm giving, I'm giving, but I'm not receiving anything to give me a chance to replenish. And I think that's something that in relationships, why people suffer because one person is giving, 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 and the other person is not reciprocating it so the person can replenish themselves. That's why a lot of people feel empty. A lot of people feel stressed out because they're not being able to find anyone to reciprocate what they're putting out to give it back to them. We are human, so we need to be needed at times, and at sometimes we need to receive. Sometimes we need attention. Sometimes we need to know that somebody care about us. You don't want to be the only one that seems to care, the only one that seems to be able to do. Sometimes you want people to do for you. And there's nothing wrong with that. And I think in our community, I think we have more takers than givers. A lot more people got their hands out, hands open, coming with an empty plate. Can you fill my plate up? Not bringing no groceries, not bringing nothing to put in the plate, not bringing nothing to the table, but emptiness. And then the people who are productive and givers, now they're empty. So now you got a bunch of empty people floating around, and then you got no productivity or very little productivity. So it's something that when what you were saying earlier that in relationships we're not getting or looking for what's gonna help us grow. We are looking for the moment, how I'm gonna feel for the moment, and I've been guilty of that. You know what I'm saying? Just for the moment. Now it's more or less about being able to look for something that's going to be longevity. And you made a point when you said, with our parents, they actually provided good homes for us. They actually provided the good homes for us, but they didn't show us the emotional part. So now when we got in relationships, a lot of us didn't really know how to show emotions because we didn't see it. So that's something that we're learning now. And you know, as now us being grandparents and parents to grown children, it's something that we need to kind of work on and be able to give to the younger generation so that they can start understanding that being emotional, caring, and considerate is not a bad thing, and being able to see, you know, the hugging, the embracing, because if you don't see it, it's difficult to duplicate something that you don't see. And most of us, like you said, we didn't see it. We didn't see it. So we had to imagine what it was like. And now we have generations that's out here that seem to be heartless. You know what I mean? Seem to not care about emotions or any of that, or they're moving off of emotions, but they're not able to express their emotions in a healthy way. And that's where we as the elders gonna have to take the lead and start being able to express these emotions and show them how how they should love, because we've been, as a culture, we are under the impression that love is something that just happens. You just meet a person and you fall in love. For me, love is something that has to be developed. It has to be developed, because anything else is basically your own perception of love. Like with your child, you love your child, but you still nurture that love. You still do things to make that love grow both ways. So why wouldn't it be that way with someone else? That the love just don't happen. The love has to be cultivated. It has to be, nurtured. And that's where we're falling to the wayside, because you know we're under this impression that love is just this magic pill that's going to make everything right, and it's not. Because people you love still have to grow. Because a person loves you don't mean that a person is going to do everything to make you happy, nor are they going to do everything to make you feel good. It's just not going to happen. We have to be real with ourselves when it comes to love. That's why so many people get love confused with good sex, because they feel good. You make them feel good, so they like, oh, I'm in love. No, you ain't in love. You just infatuated by the sex. You know what I mean? So you either dickmatized or pussymatized. At the end of the day. So it's not like it's the love that's there. And as a culture, we are suffering because we don't really know how to love properly. And we have to learn that. We have to learn how to love properly, because if you love a person, that means you're willing to accept things about the person that you may not like. You know, at the end of the day, love don't mean, okay, I don't like that you snore, but I can deal with it because I love you. I don't like that you get insecure sometimes, but I can deal with it because I love you. And I'm going to try to do my best to help you become more secure. You know what I mean? So love is wanting to help. Love is, like you say, your problem has been you love. You love and you give that love, and people don't know how to receive it because most people never really had love, never really got proper love. So here we are in a society looking for love amongst a whole lot of people who don't even really know what love is or how to express it, you know? So that's where we at. But it's about that time, Sister Lisa, and it's been a pleasure having you on the show. And you know, whenever you want to come back, you're welcome. And those of you who watching, tune into the Lisa Experience every Thursday at 8 o'clock, and you can hear some more of the conversation. All right, and you know, most times I'm on there with her. Okay, I love you,
Yeah, I
sis.
love having you. You're welcome to come this Thursday also.
Okay, absolutely, absolutely. I'll, you know, I'll be there with bells jingling. All right, so
Yeah.
yeah,
This week is actually going to be about celebration because my birthday is this week, and I want to talk about celebrating to the next chapter of the '60s.
okay. So what day is your birthday? What day is it?
My birthday is Friday, 65.
Okay, okay, all right. So I'm coming up there. I'm coming up there behind you, the 18th. You know, be 6-1. Yeah,
Yeah. Okay.
yeah, the 18th. So we both Pisces.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
My phone dying.
Okay, so
All
that,
right.
that's it. As I said, it's been a pleasure. See you on Thursday.
Thank you.
All right.
Yeah. And you have a good night and a nice weekend.
Okay, you too.
Wait. Bye bye.
All right.